What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Red Weekly. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so your subscription would really mean a lot to me. So today, as you can tell by the title, I'm doing a hot takes video, and this is my first ever one. I was scrolling through NBA Twitter for like 30, 40 minutes, just looking for a few good ones, and I wasn't really able to find a whole lot, but I found some, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hakeem Burner says Bobby Portis is better than Ben Simmons. I wish I was kidding. Now, here's the biggest problem with this one is that obviously there's a little bit of there's probably a lot of recency bias in this. Obviously, the Bucks are playing really well. Bobby Portis is really liked in Milwaukee, and Ben Simmons is definitely probably not liked in Philly right now. So, obviously, with Ben Simmons' actual refusal to shoot the basketball, especially in the Hawks series, uh, I can understand why this opinion came up. However, here's the thing. Ben Simmons is a mile better defender than Bobby Portis is, but obviously with what Bobby Portis can do on the offensive end, that's probably mostly what this guy is talking about. Um, Obviously it's situational because, with Ben Simmons, because he's not a great free throw shooter and he's not super aggressive. Um, his value is really in that first like 46 minutes, 45, 46 minutes of a basketball game. It's like that ending, because if Philly's up, you just start hack a Ben. But with Bobby Portis, you don't really get that, but his overall value is not there yet. Bobby Portis could develop to be a better player, and then maybe you could give this argument a little bit more thought. But right now, it's just situational. Bobby Portis is good sometimes, but in some series, he's not that useful. But I think Bobby Portis is going to grow, but this is just not. Ben Simmons is definitely just a better basketball player right now than Bobby Portis is. Demarcus Cousins would still be the best center in the league if he never got injured. That was said by Hollywood MJJ23. I don't know if I disagree with this, and I don't know if I agree with this. So here's Demarcus Cousins before he got injured. I think he'd be rivaling, Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic as the best center in the game right now because obviously Prime Boogie his offensive game was unreal. He definitely had one of the most complete offensive packages for a center at that time before Joel Embiid started coming on the scene. So, but the thing that Joel Embiid has over Demarcus Cousins would definitely be the defensive ability. Jokic is obviously a miles better, just IQ, not IQ, but he's a better passer, a better facilitator, the basketball than Demarcus Cousins. Demarcus Cousins is not a bad passer, but obviously Jokic, it's not a huge competition. Nikola Jokic is arguably one of the greatest passing big men, if not the greatest passing big man of all time. So, but I'd say Demarcus Cousins would definitely be rivaling them, but I don't think he'd be the clear-cut best center in the league if this was before his injury. Wolves_season says the Hawks will be the new bubble Heat and perform worse next season. So obviously they're talking about when the Miami Heat got to the bubble, they got to the NBA Finals. They gave the Lakers a great run, but then ultimately that next season they just did not perform as well. So I don't think that's going to happen. There is a little bit more circumstances around the Heat than just them just not playing that well. Obviously they got rid of they lost Jay Crowder, and I know that they probably lost one other person. I just can't think of it right now. But their team isn't exactly the same. They dealt with some injuries. They dealt with some sickness, obviously, with COVID. So that Miami Heat team that you saw kind of this year, along with a lot of other teams, because injuries and sicknesses plagued everybody, you didn't really see everybody really in their actual, healthy, fully formed teams. So, but going back to the Hawks, I don't think that's going to happen to the Hawks. I think that if you can get Trae Young to play off ball and you have that whole Hawks team healthy, I think that's a really good Hawks team because they showed a lot when Trae Young got out that they could pass the basketball, that they could really move the offense really well. So then you add Trae Young back into that mix, who's who's a great passer. He's kind of streaky from deep, but but he can hit deep shots. He can get to the he can slash and get into the paint at will. I mean, you add that back in, and you got a really good offense going. So I think the Hawks are going to be better than they were this year, but I think the circumstances in which the Hawks get to the Eastern Conference Finals is different. So I think that's going to be the difference. I think the Hawks will be better, but their circumstances will be different next season. Boardman 905 says, at their peaks, Klay Thompson is closer to Danny Green than he is to Draymond Green. Start giving Dre his damn respect. Now, here's the biggest problem with this is that their roles are different. So comparing somebody like Klay Thompson to somebody like Draymond Green is weird because just obviously with them being on the same team, they serve different functions. Obviously, technically this tweet is right where Klay Thompson is closer to Danny Green than he is Draymond, but they're talking about really value-wise, and that's kind of where I think it's a little off. Now, Danny Green was obviously super valuable on that on the San Antonio Spurs team. He was, kind of that. Well, he was just a really great 3-and-D guy. But Klay Thompson, obviously, he's got his accolades too. He's got 3 rings. He's a great defender. He's arguably, top 2, top 3 shooter of all time of the basketball. So, and then Draymond Green, obviously he doesn't have the offensive game with the exception of, he's a great, facilitator and passer. Draymond Green's a great defender as well. He's a great rebounder, but Klay Thompson and Draymond Green are just different. They serve different functions. Obviously, Klay Thompson's there to shoot, to score the basketball. Draymond's there to help facilitate and play great defense. And Klay Thompson's there to play great defense too. But, the overall function of what they do on the offensive end is just different. So you can't really compare them. So technically Klay Thompson's closer to Danny Green than he is to Draymond Green, but not in the way that Boardman really is trying to say that. This one was tough. So this kind of had a few different parts to it. The original post on this one was none of LeBron's rings were won with a super team. We're not going to go into that one. That one's just a bad take. People started agreeing with it. And someone replied to it saying a team with 3 prime Hall of Famers isn't a super team. Got it. Obviously, trying to be a little, sarcastic, saying that, of course, LeBron won rings with super teams. But then somebody replied to him saying the Bucks have Giannis, Middleton, and Lopez, who are all in their primes and likely all to be Hall of Famers. So there's that for you. So my main issue with this is the Lopez part. But, I mean, obviously with Middleton too, I don't think Middleton at this point is a Hall of Famer. He's made a couple All-Star teams, but that's really it. I have to look it up, but I don't know if he's made any All-NBA teams. He might have. I mean, I definitely could be underselling him a little bit, but I don't think he has. And then Brook Lopez, a Hall of Famer. I don't know how that really sounded in the mic because I kind of yelled a little bit, but that's insane. How do you call him Brook Lopez a most and likely to be a Hall of Famer? I don't see Brook Lopez being a Hall of Famer. I mean, let me know if you think differently, but I don't see it. I mean, he's a great role player, but great role players don't get into the Hall of Fame. So I don't know. Kevin Garnett is a top 10 player ever. I disagree. He's definitely a great player. I think you could probably make an argument for him to be top 20. You could make an argument. I would have to really go through and really evaluate top 20 scenario for Kevin Garnett. But as far as top 10, no. Honestly, I don't really want to do a top 10 list right this second, but I can do one off the top of my head. But I mean, I would not put KG in my top 10 at all. I mean, I'd have in no super particular order. I mean, I'd have Michael Jordan, LeBron, Bird, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, Hakeem, Wilt, Tim Duncan. I would definitely take probably all 10 of those players real quick. If my top 10's a little weird, I think for the most part that was pretty good. Again, that wasn't in any particular order. That's just a random top 10. That's just I would not put KG in the top 10. I don't know. I'm going to end it on this last one. There's a reasonable argument for Magic and Bird to not be top 10 players of all time. Um, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it, and I'd like to hear who you put over Magic and Bird, because that's that's a pretty insane take. That's definitely a hot take. Actually, that's probably just a wrong take. That's just a wrong take. My bad. But I'd love to hear your argument about why you would say that Magic and Bird should not be top 10 players of all time, but KG should. Definitely would love to hear that one. But thanks for watching, everybody. Like the video, leave suggestions for videos we'd like to see in the future. I'm still doing a video project right now. It's going to be on the Phoenix Suns, and I'm hoping to get it out before halfway through the series. So give or take game 3, I'd say, because I definitely think whoever is going to be in the finals, it's going to go at least game 6. I hope. But so at least halfway through the finals. But again, appreciate everybody watching. See ya.